What's up, guys? This is Kellen from Wizard Tricks. Hope you guys are having a good one. I'm back at it with a new video for you guys. I'm excited to talk about this because there was a really cool article posted on Reddit that I personally connected with really well, and it's in regards to fortresses and what we could see in the future and moving forward, and some ideas that we have or that this particular individual had for fortress battles. And I wanted to share that and kind of shout out and draw attention to some of these ideas because I think they're really good, and I think they deserve a shout out. So we're going to talk about that a little bit in today's video. It's going to be a really fun one, so stick around. So the article on Reddit was written by bbear11, and I'm going to put it in the description below so you guys can check it out. I am going to be going through the whole article in pretty good detail, but if you do want to see the original post, it is in the description, so definitely check it out and give some credit and some likes, some thumbs up on Reddit to bbear11. Alright, so the whole idea is that we have these fortresses in the game, and ideas of how to make it a little bit better, a little bit more interactive, and adding towards it. And I don't think that some of these things will happen for a little bit of time. I think that we will have more lessons to go through, and not until we have higher level fortress battles, so higher than even Dark 5. So maybe when they increase what type of fortresses levels that we have, I think they'll start doing some different things in fortresses. So keep that in mind. I think this isn't going to be something that happens right away, but I do think it's important to start talking about so that when fortresses do level up, we'll be able to have some of these ideas, and maybe Niantic will incorporate some of this. So the whole idea behind this is that the number of enemies that you face in a fortress is fairly limited. There's not a ton. There's only 6 enemies overall, basically 2 types of enemies for each of the professions. And where could we expand? Where could this go? Where could this build into? And that's kind of what we're gonna dig into in today's video. And we have a lot of really great, and some of the ideas on this I really love, and I think they really should incorporate, I think make a lot of sense. So basically it's adding different types of enemies, and what types of enemies could we add, and how would they get structured inside the game. So let's check it out. Okay, so what are the enemies that could be added into the game? Well, first we have dark sorceresses, so a female, basically dark wizard, and I think that's a pretty good thing for the game. I mean, adding a female character in, I think, would be a positive thing. So a dark sorceress, I think, is a really cool idea. And then we have a horned serpent, and of course those are already in the game, right? They don't have to add that already, and that would be for beasts. And then you'd have dementors, right? So we have some dementors, and those would be curiosities. So those would be a curiosity type of enemy. There could then be a whole new category, a neutral category of opponents that don't lend itself to any particular profession. They're kind of equal against all professions. They're like a neutral type of enemy. And those are the following. So for dark sorcerers, horned serpents, and dementors, they should act very similar to the other enemies in fortresses already. So if you're a dark wizard, you should be good against sorcerers, and if of course you're a magic zoologist, you should be good against horned serpents, and of course professors for dementors. So those should act very similar, but I think it's really cool of adding ability to maybe some neutral opponents, and I think that's a really cool way to build some of the details or some of the depth in the game within fortresses, is actually adding a neutral category that just has more of a special abilities. So centaurs, maybe it's just like a blanket, no ability type of enemy. And then for vampires, they could maybe regenerate health. So kind of like professors, when they attack, it takes it away. Maybe vampires actually get health every time they attack. I think that would be pretty awesome. And then dragons, every time it attacks, it could also deal damage to other teammates, because dragons like have big big fire blasts. And I think that would be really cool. So when you're actually playing as a group, you have to think about what dragons are taking place, and you may need to strategically fight dragons as a team a little bit differently than you would any other type of enemy. So I think that's a pretty cool, different way to go about it. And I think the neutral type of enemies that have specific types of abilities is a really cool way for them to expand on it without having to use just the professions. There could be specific enemies that have, like I said, special abilities that do different things that you have to be aware of when you enter fortresses. And maybe they don't add some of these things, maybe they don't add neutral type of enemies until higher level up fortress chambers or levels, because maybe like new players who are still doing the low level fortresses may not know how to handle those types of enemies. But if they add these a little bit later on inside of the fortresses, then I think that'd be a really great way to introduce some of these characters, but also add depth for people that play often, that do a lot of fortress battles, and who are interested in that. I think they could add a ton of things, like maybe dragons. If you defeat, depending on how many dragons, you can get a small challenge XP boost, or maybe you have the team has a ability to maybe get a gold coin after a fortress battle, because dragons, of course, they love treasure. So I don't know, maybe there's some cool stuff like that. So this article was written by bbear11 on Reddit. I will put it in the description below so you guys can check it out and visit it and read the full article as well. I did go over it in pretty good detail, but of course check it out and gives it some thumbs up on Reddit so that a lot of people see it. I think it's some really cool stuff, and of course let me know what you guys think about it as well. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about the video. Do you like these ideas? Do you like this kind of concept of building onto the fortress battles? And of course, what special abilities or what types of creatures or types of enemies would you like to face inside of fortress battles? Maybe Niantic will see it and include it in some of their ideas for what they do in terms of expanding fortresses. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys later.